PlayStation Home is anything but homely. Now, in order to justify this, I've made myself a bit of a list to describe the sorts of experiences that I get when I log into PlayStation Home. Let's just take a quick look. Number 1, the inability to easily communicate with the people around me. Number 2, aimlessly walking around the same restricted areas. And number 3, standing in line and monotonously waiting to access even the most simple of distractions. Now, if I was to show this list to the average man on the street and ask them what I was describing, I'm pretty sure the answer would be something along the lines of a Mexican high security prison. And in fact, when I think about it, the only difference between home and a prison is that I've yet to log into home and find my avatar being brutally sodomised in the showers by a large man called Bubba. Still, negative points aside, I don't just want to sit here and complain about how dull home is. Instead, here are some suggestions as to how it can be changed around to become an integral part of the PS3 experience. The first thing that hits me when I open home are these ridiculous loading times. They couple with overly frequent updates and quite frankly make home just painful to get into. There's too many loading screens, too many button presses, and it all takes too long. In fact, if you have to compare this tedious, tiresome loading sequence to a real life analogy, it would be like trying to enter home is like me coming home from work, having to climb in through the chimney pot, getting in to find that the cat's just pissed all over my dinner, and then being told that my wife's leaving me. It's unnecessary, it's laborious, and it's depressing. Now, the solution to these dire loading times will lie somewhere in the coding, and I would really urge Sony to deal with this, because it seems ridiculous that in something like Grand Theft Auto 4, you can drive from one end of Liberty City to the other and not see a single loading screen. Whereas home, when you want to go to the virtual shop, you're stuck with these tedious loading screens. It just seems really unnecessary. Now, as for the updates, then Sony should allow home to be updated via the XMB without actually having to load up the home software. So just like you can download a game demo from the PSN store and do it in the background, Sony should let us click triangle on the home icon on the XMB and let it install any updates without actually going into it, and the monotony of having to sit through it. Now, once we've actually gotten into home, we can see what it has to offer. Now, home is, by Sony's own definition, a new form of social networking for gamers, but it neglects to take advantage of the one thing that connects gamers in this console generation, and that's this, the Bluetooth headset. Because of this, the communication in home is reduced to sort of short, awkward text-based conversations, or the creepy unoriginality of like pre-recorded macros. I mean, straight away, the communication in home is very, very bare bones, and it's less than you'll find in a very basic internet chat room. Now, the solution to this is blurringly simple. They should allow voice chat within home. Now, I can pretty much preempt what the outcry is going to be here. If we allow people to have voice chat in home, then it will turn into Xbox Live, and everyone will be swearing, and the tranquility of home will become tainted by prepubescent ruffians. Now, the way around this is to make the communication system based on invitations. One person sends an invitation to the other, they accept, it enables the voice communication between the two of them. Furthermore, they should include options for multiple people so that you can create a group conversation, and also with obviously kick and mute options in case any sort of unwanted dickhead manages to infiltrate the group. One of my biggest disappointments on home came from the announcement that you would now be able to play poker in the EA Casino. This is brilliant, I thought. Now my PSN friends and I will be able to play cards online together, could like in-range, inter-clan poker tournaments. No. Home quickly dashed my dreams by introducing possibly the worst system ever conceived for selecting a game to play. In a nutshell, you have to wait your turn.
Huh? Excuse me? Did I not just pay about £300 for a games console? And now you're telling me that in order to use some of its features, I've got to stand in line and wait like some sort of tramp in a soup kitchen?
Now, even after that, home has not finished shafting me just yet. After waiting patiently for my turn at the poker table, I'm eagerly watching the closing moments on the scoreboard that'll signal that my time is imminent, that I'm going to get to play. Some bellend just manages to slyly position their avatar just in front of mine, blocking my entry into the next poker tournament. You motherfucking little sucking. Now this actually presents two problems for gamers. Firstly, waiting is not fun. You know, I really appreciate Holmes' attempts to realistically craft a world, but standing in a queue should have been left out on the grounds that it's absolutely fucking tedious. Now secondly, it makes playing poker in Home less of a social experience and more like a depraved orgy of selfishness. You could actually think of Home as some sort of simulation for a post-apocalyptic collapse of society, with basically everybody fucking each other over for the few remaining resources. Mad Max, eat your heart out. Okay, now here's my suggestion to fix this. Have the players meet up at a poker table in Home, and then once they all decide they want to play together, all 8 of them spawn off into a separate instance, which frees up the poker table for another 8 players to do the same. Also, maybe Sony should allow people to use their clubhouses as a party up system for any of the mini games within Home. Again, people just meet within the clubhouse, all party up together, and then launch off into a separate instance of any of the mini games they chose to play. There's no more queues, everybody would be happy. That brings me nicely on to my next subject, which is clubhouses. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with clubhouses in Home, I'll just give you a quick explanation. You basically make a one-off payment to Sony for around about £5, and then you and your chosen friends will get access to this, a virtual render of Mr. Miyagi's house from the Karate Kid. So, what purpose does a clubhouse serve? Absolutely fuck all. The clubhouse, other than being a reminder of how poorly conceived some of the ideas in Home are, will stand for all time as a reminder to you not to piss your money on trivial things. In fact, I have absolutely no moral issue with stopping young children in the street and redirecting them to the local neighbourhood crack den for a quick fix, rather than see them spend £5 of their hard-earned pocket money on a Home clubhouse. Now, how about giving these clubhouse spaces a real purpose? And by this I mean something that is unique to the clubhouse and can't be done anywhere else within Home. I mean, I've already mentioned using them as a space for partying up, but what about things like, there's video screens in the clubhouse. What about getting a group of friends together and then uploading like a clan match onto YouTube, and then you could all get together in the clubhouse and watch it, discuss it on voice comms, things like that. I mean, games like Killzone and Mag have got absolutely huge potential for Home as a place to like show off statistics, show off your trophies, meet up before tournaments and arrange matches. All it needs is just for something to happen to make those clubhouse spaces just a bit more versatile, a bit more useful. The reason behind this article, joking aside, is that I actually see a lot of potential within Home, but I also see an appalling lack of imagination resources being applied to what should be, by now, a valuable weapon in the PS3 arsenal. I mean, it appears that the majority of the work on Home is complete, so all that's needed is a few tweaks to make it more fun and more practical for those who choose to use it, rather than a tedious exercise in sadomasochism and boredom. And so, alas, it's for these reasons that I stand by my closing comments that PlayStation Home sucks.